Ahoy!
Welcome to another special episode of Bottom of the Stream that is being socially distanced from me and Nick.
Welcome aboard.
How are you, Nick?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm not bad. Not bad at all. Good week?
It's been an interesting week.
Oh, why? What's happened?
On the whole, it's been a good week. I had to take a trip to hospital on Monday. So that wasn't
what
so
did you
good.
do?
Not for me. My youngest daughter decided to absorb the floor with her nose.
Oh,
at school.
no.
So,
Bad times.
So she was quite swollen facially.
Is she okay?
On Monday. Yeah, she's fine. She's a bit scratched up, but kids can't put their feet in front of each other.
Kids being kids again.
So that was an interesting start to the week. That was a kind of like, drop everything. We need to sort this out. But other than that, not too bad. How about you?
Good.
I know you've got
bad.
something exciting to talk about.
My PlayStation 5's been delivered, Nick.
Amazing.
It's very exciting. It was very difficult to put the pad down and just come and join you. I was going to make you do this one on your own today.
You can go back afterwards. Actually, I wouldn't like that because I think I might go on for like 3 hours. I'd probably just talk like you were still here anyway.
Just keep leaving gaps for me to laugh at you.
Yeah, maybe.
So I've left it doing some updates and various things and bits and bobs. So
that's cool. So what's your first impressions?
It's really good. The DualSense controller is incredible. You can't describe it to people how good it is. It's so good.
So did you get any games with it, or are you just going with what you've already had? Or
I brought the new Spider-Man game, which comes with the remastered original Spider-Man game.
Oh, sweet.
Which I never played.
Yeah, I played the first one.
I'm quite glad I left it, so I can now get it fresh on next gen. But I've been playing that all day today. It's been good fun.
I've played the first one. I've completed the first one. One of the few games I've actually played to the end.
That's what I'm playing through now. I've not started the second one yet. I'm going to do that one afterwards.
I really enjoyed it. It's just great fun swinging around New York, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all I've done all day. I've not done any of the missions. I've just swung around places I've been to. It's been great.
But yeah, it looks beautiful. That was
does.
on the 4, so I'm sure it looks great on the 5.
When lockdown is over, you'll have to come around and have a look.
Great.
That's pretty much all that's happened to me this week.
No dramas of getting it delivered or.
No, it was all fine. No
like
problems. Everything appeared on time. The camera adapter for the VR's arrived today as well, so I can use that as right now as well. So that's cool.
Sweet. I do. It always happens, doesn't it, when there's a release of this, big console, like it used to happen with the phones and stuff, where people seem surprised when they've not pre-ordered and they just turn up on the day of release and the shops haven't got any.
It's even weirder this year because obviously none of the shops are open. So
yeah,
people are just like queuing onto websites when they know there's not going to be any on there.
Well, I just people's attitude just stuns me. It's like, I'll be able to get one. No, you won't, mate.
Yes, no, you won't. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But I did.
Well, that's because you planned ahead. So
I did. Luckily, I was off work on the day of pre-order, so it worked out quite nicely.
Awesome.
Anyway, have you got? Should we do Netflix news first, or should we do top of the stream first?
Let's go with news first.
Okay, cool. I haven't got any top of the streams anyway, so let's
fine.
go with news. Do you want to start? I've got 5. How many have you got?
2.
Oh, shall I go first then?
We've not pre-checked, so we may have duplication. So yeah, you go first.
I'll go. I don't know if I don't think you'll have this one. Have you ever seen the film Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
A few times. It's all right.
You up for a sequel?
Yeah, why not?
You're getting one. It's coming on January the 1st to Netflix, and it's, I believe, a TV show.
Okay.
Directed by Robert Rodriguez, coming on January the 1st. It doesn't have a title yet, as far as I can tell, but it's set 15 years later. So they've grown up and they've got a kid together.
Is it the same actors?
The one of them is. I think the Lava Girl is, but cool. The boy isn't. I don't know which one. One of them is, but I can't remember which way around it was. I've never seen it. I've no idea what it is. I just spotted it got Robert Rodriguez attached to it.
Yeah, he did.
Big news.
He did the first one. It's the first one's got a very young Taylor Lautner in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, it's fine. I think it was all done because at the time it was a big 3D kind of event thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's that weird period for Robert Rodriguez where he just made kids movies for 6 years because he did like loads of Spy Kids movies and then he did these as well. So
yeah, strange,
that's
wasn't
cool.
it? So that's
Awesome.
my news. I just thought I've seen the name. I thought I'd mention that this week. People will be interested. Are you? You want to go next?
Yeah, I've got a weird one. Remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe a bit more than that, when we were talking about Ben Wheatley, who had filmed a horror film in lockdown in an abandoned hotel. Well, not abandoned, but a
shut hotel.
Shut hotel. Well,
yeah.
It's come out this week that Judd Apatow, of the whole sort of comedy peon of, he's got loads of films and produces, doesn't he? With all the same guys. So
keep forgetting Sarah Marshall and them sort of things, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got a movie coming to Netflix.
Right.
It is untitled so far. It's a comedy, but it's about a load of actors in the pandemic stuck in a bubble in a hotel trying to film a movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, strange. People just had this idea and went with it in the lockdown, obviously.
Sure. So sounds like we're getting two movies exactly the same, only one's a horror and one's a comedy. So
that could be really interesting. A double header, do them both on one night.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Are we going to want to watch that in a year's time when hopefully things are a bit better? I don't know.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
Hopefully things are a bit better. Next one.
Yeah.
Netflix are, the Yorkshire Ripper Peter Sutcliffe recently died.
Yes.
They're doing a documentary on him. They were doing it beforehand anyway, so the timing's worked out quite nicely for them. He passed away a couple of weeks ago, week ago. Yeah. Couldn't have come better time for Netflix or for the whole world, really. And it's called Ripper, and it's coming on December the 16th, and it's a Netflix original documentary. And
okay.
Here's from the surviving victims. Does that count? Does that make sense?
None whatsoever. But I know.
You know what I mean? People who survived him and family members of his victims. So it's going to be quite interesting, I think. It's a bit of a fascinating case over here in the UK. So check that out when it comes on December the 16th.
Yeah, Netflix is all about the true crime stuff, definitely.
They love it, don't they?
It's becoming a bit of its own cottage industry, isn't it, Netflix?
Yes.
My next one is more of something that's just dropped rather than a piece of news, really. But I thought it was worth noting. So it's definitely available to watch currently in Netflix UK. Obviously not checked for the rest of the world, but it is a movie called The Life Ahead, and it is Sophia Loren's first role for 10 years.
Wow, really?
Hollywood royalty, yeah,
definitely.
She's 86.
Blimey, O'Reilly.
And apparently it's awesome. So she plays a Holocaust survivor, but it's obviously set currently, and it's about her relationship as she bonds with a Senegalese orphan who's again suffered some pretty brutal hardships, sort of escaping his country. So again, sounds like pretty much awards fodder, but apparently very good, and it is just dropped on Netflix UK.
Excellent. Sounds interesting. I might give that a go. What was it called?
The Life Ahead.
Sounds good to me. My next bit?
Yes, please.
Do you remember the TV show The Toys That Made Us?
I do.
Do you remember it was followed up by a sequel called The Movies That Made Us?
It was.
It's being followed up again.
Oh, I'm excited.
By a series called The Holiday Movies That Made Us.
Oh, lovely.
It's all about Christmas films. It's coming on December the 1st. So they're really well made documentaries, The Toys That Made Us and The Movies That Made Us. So that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really breezy and quite tongue in cheek, aren't they? So definitely worth watching.
Yeah, it could be good. I really enjoyed The Toys That Made Us. So did they do two series of that one?
Yes, I think they did. Do you know what they're covering?
It looks like, I do know which films are being made. There's only going to be 2 episodes of it by the looks of it. The first one is going to be on Alf with Will Ferrell. And the second one is really interesting. It's going to be on The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So that could be quite interesting. It looks like there's only 2. I'm not sure if there's going to be more, and they're the only 2 they've announced.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'm really, especially The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's one of the greatest animated films ever. So that could be really good.
Yeah, and the guy who sort of, pretty much did it all by himself, Henry Selick. He went on to do Coraline. if I remember rightly, I am just going from memory here, he didn't have a great time with Nightmare Before Christmas, and he was quite miffed that basically Tim Burton's name was plastered all over it.
I always find that quite funny because Tim Burton's, it literally is called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, and he did produce it, but apparently he wasn't particularly involved.
It's really interesting to have somebody else's name on it who's not the director.
But then again, I'm sure it helped the whole thing get off the ground and get made. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was a big name at the time that was going to sell it. And it is all in
Yeah.
Tim Burton style. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be really interesting. And like I say, the last two series have been really good. So I'm excited for
definitely.
that.
Great.
That's coming on December 1, December the 1st. December 1. I've got 2 renewal bits of news for TV shows that have been renewed. Do you want me to do them both together?
Yeah, go on. Mash them up.
One's good news, one's not so good news, in my opinion.
Okay.
Space Force has been renewed for season 2.
Which I watched 2 episodes of it, and
I thought was an absolute flop. I thought it was known that it was a flop, but apparently not, because they've renewed it. But I didn't really get it. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, it's coming back for season 2. We don't have a date yet, but it's coming back next year. And season 4 of Big Mouth is coming.
Okay.
Have you ever watched Big Mouth?
Yeah, so similar actually. I have watched 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
I probably will go back at some point. I just never have.
I really enjoy it. It's just stupid, gross out comedy cartoon, but it's really funny.
I think again, I struggle to remember if this was a conversation we had on podcast or off podcast, but I can remember saying at some point to you, I don't know whether to start that or Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you definitely made the right choice by starting Rick and Morty.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm still going through that, so yeah. Okay,
cool.
No, that's cool.
Well, season 4 is coming on December the 4th. That's my news. I'm all newsed out.
Good stuff.
Do you have any top of the stream? Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream? That's what I asked you then.
Yeah, I've watched a few bits.
Good, because I haven't watched anything.
Okay. Because you were sitting in front of your door just waiting for the PS5 to come for like 4 days.
Pretty much,
then, then obviously when it did arrive, you've just been playing that.
I've been watching something on Amazon, but I don't know if I should talk about it or not.
Okay.
Plus, I finally started The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
I got hold of a Disney Plus login. I won't say where from, but I think you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I've got to episode 7, I think, already. So yeah, I've been watching that.
Oh, excellent.
And I started watching James May's cookery show on Amazon Prime.
Of course you did.
It's called Oh Cook, and he can't cook. And it's a cookery show by somebody who can't cook, and it's actually really good. It's really funny.
Does he do the cooking?
Yeah, he does all the cooking, but he's got like a lady who lives in his cupboard, and if he gets stuck, he calls her and she comes out and helps him.
I mean, that sounds really creepy, but
yeah, it's pretty creepy, but it's really funny when you get used to it.
Fine.
But yeah, so it's worth checking. It's on Amazon Prime. It's worth checking out. If you like James May's kind of humour, which I do, you'll enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad you've had a chance to check out The Mandalorian. It's the best Star Wars thing in years.
Yeah, definitely.
Any of this new stuff.
Yeah, it's really,
it's like
really
a Western.
Yeah, it is a Western. That's exactly how I would describe it as well.
He's just the gunslinger, isn't he? Walking from town to town, or planet to planet in this case. Yeah, I've not watched any of the season 2 yet, but I will. Now there's a few of them out, I might delve in. So
yeah, go for it.
Cool.
No, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know why I've put it off for so long, to be honest.
Yeah, I did. To be fair, it just took me a while to get around to it. I think because they've been coming out week by week, even the first season, I actively said, well, I'd prefer to wait till they're all there, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. That's how we watch TV these days, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah.
Weekly releases seem a bit thing of the past now.
Cool. That's really good. So I watched...
Sorry, I kind of stepped on your toes there, didn't I?
That's fine. I don't care. You can step away. I watched a Christmas movie.
All right, okay. It's a bit early, but I'll let you off.
On Netflix. Jingle Jangle.
Oh, have you watched it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's fun. It's fun. I thought the songs were really catchy. It's got just about the right level of cheesiness. It looks good. It looks really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker's good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Our whole family, we all watched it, had a bit of a family movie night, and we all really liked it. So
that's nice.
I think you quite like it actually.
I will give it a watch. I'll probably wait till Christmas though. I tend to watch Christmas films at Christmas and not random points in the year like you do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I don't watch them in July.
No, but you do watch. It's not Christmas yet.
No, I agree. But yeah, it's fun. I think you'd like it, so check that out.
I will check that out at some point during Christmas. Christmas Chronicles 2 is coming out pretty soon as well. So I'll check them, but I think 25th of this month? This week,
there's an absolute slew of Christmas movies about to or have just dropped on Netflix. I've watched a couple of episodes of the new season of The Crown.
Oh, have you?
Yep.
How's that hitting?
Definitely much more interested than the last season. I didn't really care for season 3.
I didn't even get to season 3. Do you think I could skip season 3?
Do you know what? You probably could.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's a lot more going on in this one already. So we're now into the 80s. So
right.
yeah, it's a lot more interesting.
It's all Princess Diana and Margaret Thatcher, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird because like Gillian Anderson's good as Thatcher.
Yeah,
but it's Gillian Anderson.
She's a sexy Thatcher.
Struggling a bit to get past that. Yeah, this is the lady from Sex Education.
I love Gillian Anderson to pieces and hate Margaret Thatcher, so it's going to be an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah, it might put you in a weird place then. I've watched one more thing. I've just realised it is also Christmas themed.
You're getting into the spirit well early this year. You'll have your tree on next.
I didn't really realise this was Christmas themed. So watched a couple of episodes of a new sitcom called Dash and Lily.
Okay.
On Netflix.
What is that?
And it's very schmaltzy, but it's well done schmaltz. So essentially, it's the story of a young lady who is, what would you say, unlucky in love. She's quite naive. So she leaves a notebook in a bookstore and basically does a sort of treasure trail scavenger hunt type thing for the right person to pick it up, and he has to complete the tests and the tasks in this book, and then he starts doing it back to her. So they've not actually met, but they're sort of communicating through this book, and a couple of their friends are helping them. It's quite sweet. It's fine. I only watched like 2 episodes. But it's quick. That's pretty cool.
Sounds interesting.
I kind of didn't want to like it, but ended up quite liking it. It's one of those.
I know what you mean. Good.
That's it. That's my watches.
That's my watches all done as well.
Cool.
What's next?
I've got a little game.
You've got a little game?
I have got a small game.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, I don't really have a funny title because it's just higher or lower. So
That's disappointing. Yeah. Nick's Untitled Non-Funny Game.
Okay, let's call it Hospital or Notspital.
Notspital is a horrible word.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I don't like it. So this week we're talking about a movie called Catfight.
Yep.
It stars Sandra Oh.
It does.
She is quite famous for being in a hospital drama.
She is.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
So I think we've played this game before, and I think we played it with detective dramas.
Right, okay.
This time we're playing it with hospital dramas. So I will give you a show, and I'll give you one to start off. I'll give you the number of episodes that aired, and you just tell me the next one, higher or lower.
Okay, sounds good. I can do that.
We'll see how far we get. So I will give you an easy one to start off with. We will go with... I don't know why I said hospital dramas, because this is definitely not a drama. We will start with Green Wing.
Okay.
Green Wing had 18 episodes.
Cool. I've been thinking about watching... I've never watched Green Wing, and I've been thinking about starting it.
You're not?
No. I think it'd be right on my street.
I was thinking about rewatching it after you talked about Black Books last week.
That's what made me think I should probably start watching it.
Well, there's only 18 episodes, so
cool. I'll blast through that.
It probably wouldn't take you too long. So Green Wing has got 18 episodes. Can you tell me, higher or lower?
Yep.
Doc Martin.
Is that the Sunday afternoon Martin Clunes film? The TV show.
I've just realised it's called Doc Martin. It stars Martin Clunes. So I've never watched an episode.
I think he's called Martin in the show. I think that's why it's called that.
I would presume so, yeah.
It's a pun on the shoe. It seems like it's been on forever, though, so I'm going to say higher.
Correct. 70 episodes.
70?
Yeah.
Okay. Hit me with your next hospital.
Doogie Howser, MD.
Oh, that was Neil Patrick Howard's show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I've never seen it.
When he was young.
I'm going on the fact that American sitcoms usually have a lot of episodes in a season. Probably more than Higher.
Correct. 97.
Excellent.
Right,
I realise you've called this game Hospital or Notspital, and I don't have to say Hospital or Notspital in it.
I know, that's why I didn't give it a title.
Okay.
But stick with it, we'll go for it.
Cool.
So the next one is, let's go with House.
House?
House.
With Hugh Laurie?
That's the one.
97. That seems like a lot, but then if you think of shows like Lost, House was on for a long time. Lost's got more than that. Higher.
Correct.
Oh.
177 episodes.
Wowzers, that's a lot of episodes.
So I think we're getting into sort of a tricky territory now. So higher or lower than 177 for House? Scrubs.
Oh, Scrubs was on for a long time. And it's a sitcom, so it'll have to... How many was House?
177.
I don't think Scrubs has got that many. Lower.
Scrubs has got 182.
Oh, fuck it. That's annoying.
Five episodes in it. That was it.
Wow, that's mad.
Yeah, I was quite surprised.
I'm surprised there's that many episodes of Scrubs.
Yeah, I was as well. But then didn't they keep going for like at least a season after everyone had left?
Yeah, didn't it get axed like 3 times as well and picked up by different
I think
different
you might
channels?
be right. Okay. Higher or lower than Scrubs, Diagnosis Murder?
Oh, that's one of those shows that I've heard of, but I don't really know anything about.
Yeah, so it's all the Van Dykes.
All the Van Dyke.
Yeah. It's Dick. Dick Van Dyke and his son and his grandkids, they're all in it.
It's the Van Dyke clan.
Yeah, Virgil.
That, again, feels like it was been on for a very long time. Higher.
Diagnosis Murder had 178 episodes.
Oh, why they're all so close together? Why are they all so close together?
But if you count the TV movies,
yep,
of which there were 5, then it had 183. So I don't think I can give you it, but
no,
unlucky.
Annoying.
Okay, just a couple more.
Okay.
Higher or lower than Diagnosis Murder, ER.
Oh, I used to enjoy ER, but I don't feel like it was on for that long. I feel like it was a bit lower.
Lower than 178?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Really?
Gone off the rails. 331 episodes.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wowzers. I didn't realise that was on for that long.
15 years or something like that.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that. You've educated me there on that one.
Right. We're nearly there. So a couple more. Grey's Anatomy, starring Sandra Oh. More or less episodes than ER.
Again, that was on for a very long time as well, wasn't it? It's not going to have more than that. Lower.
363 episodes.
Jesus Christ. People love a hospital drama, don't they?
Yeah. One more then to finish off. Talking of why people must love a hospital drama, the British staple Casualty.
I knew you were going to throw that in there. Casualty's been on for literally ever. There's my entire life.
It has, yeah.
That's definitely got more than that. I reckon that's got nearly 1,000 episodes.
It is higher than Grey's Anatomy at 363. Yeah, I was going to say, give us a rough guess. What do you reckon? How many episodes of Casualty have there been?
1,106.
That is an excellent guess.
Really?
You are within 100 episodes.
Wow.
Which I think is a really good effort. There have been 1,182 episodes of Casualty.
Whoa, I was actually really close. I was like 75 away. That's mad. Casualty just seems like it's always been there. It's always on a Saturday night. It's just always there.
What's the point?
Yeah, what is the point?
Sorry. What's the point?
What is the point?
Why do we need 1,100 episodes of anything?
I wonder how many actors have got their start in Casualty.
Yeah.
Loads. I know Russell Brand was in a couple of episodes.
Oh, it'll be all that. Oh, yeah. I played a dead body when I was a student.
Yeah. There'll be I bet there's hundreds if you look into it.
Yeah.
Casualty's like a British institution, but it's pretty much only old people watch it.
Yeah.
Hasn't one guy
Okay.
always been in it as well since like the beginning?
I have no idea what the guy's name is. Yeah, I know,
not me, but I'm pretty sure there's a guy who's always
grey
been in
curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his life's work.
Yeah. He's like the Ken Barlow of Casualty.
Yeah, playing a nurse in Casualty.
You can't fault him.
Awesome.
It's an honest living.
Well, no.
Right, are we done? Shall we talk about this week's film?
Yes, please.
Okay, this week we watched a film called Catfight. It's from 2016. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 35 minutes and is currently rated a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Stars, as Nick mentioned, Sandra Oh, who she plays a character called Veronica. You'll mainly know her from Grey's Anatomy. More recently, she was in Killing Eve, which was a big British show that was successful everywhere, pretty much.
Yep.
Also stars Anne Heche as a character called Ashley. I didn't really recognise. Did you know her from anything?
Anne Heche, yeah, she was more of a star late 90s.
Yeah, she's one of those people whose name's really famous, but she hasn't actually really done much.
I can think off the top of my head, she was with Harrison Ford in a film where, is it 7 days and something? They get like abandoned on an island.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, it's really bad of me.
The film she's probably most famous for is she's in Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah, definitely. Also stars Alicia Silverstone as Lisa, and she's probably most famous for Clueless, which again was she was another 90s star, wasn't she?
Are you forgetting Batman and Robin?
No, that was also on my list. Batman and Robin, she was in as well. Is she Batgirl?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, that was on my list. I wish I could forget Batman and Robin, but unfortunately I can't. This film's written and directed by a guy called Onur Tukel, who is a Turkish director who's done quite a few things, but I'd never heard of any of them, so I didn't write any of them down. Fact.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
Do you have a one-word review of Catfight, Nick?
I'm going to go with just brutal.
What even is this film? I'm just going to start like that.
If you'd have asked me what sort of film I thought I was getting, knowing nothing about it, before I pressed play, I'd have thought, I am just getting a silly, maybe a bit of a leery comedy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Bridesmaids sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was expecting.
The sort of thing I've got pictured.
Is that what you got?
Boy, this surprised me.
Yeah, just a bit. That was definitely not what we got from this one.
I'm looking forward to talking about it, yeah.
Where does this film start, Nick?
We're in I was going to say a flat, but we're not. It is like a proper posh penthouse type place, isn't it?
Yeah, apartment type place.
And there's a teenager, I guess. He is watching TV, and again, unbelievably how on the nose this movie is for the time we're watching it. He is watching the presidential election results come in.
He is. It's like a comedy show, though, isn't it, that he's watching it on?
Yeah, so he's watching one of these late night shows. So it's one of these Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel type shows.
We actually get an age on this guy, this teenage boy. How old do you reckon he's supposed to be in this film?
How is he supposed to be? I would say 15, 16?
15, yeah.
Okay.
He was not.
Okay.
Quite considerably older than that. But that's really... It really bugs me when people try and make you believe that people are a lot younger than they actually are. I really struggle with it. I don't understand why it happens, but Americans do it all the time.
Yeah, that's always been the way.
Yeah. Anyway, he seems to be some sort of artist. He's got like an artistic flair, anyway. And
yeah, he's kind of sketching, isn't he?
Yeah, and his mother, who's Veronica, who's Sandra Oh's character, doesn't really back his art. She's quite negative towards him and asks it, and she doesn't want him to be an artist.
No, she doesn't think it's a viable career path.
No, she even says at one point that art isn't even a real thing. She doesn't believe in art.
Yes, she does. Just before we get into that, it's worth mentioning. I was just going to say it's probably worth mentioning that, you know, on the monologue that's being delivered on this late night talk show, we are given the impression that the president-elect is very much on the sort of scaremongering path.
Yeah.
So he's stirring up sort of racial and class warfare almost.
Yeah.
And given that this was made in, what did you say,
2016?
16?
Yeah.
It was clearly
yeah.
very on the nose for the last election.
Yes.
And the fact that we're now watching it literally 2 weeks after the one after, I was just like, wow, crazy.
Yeah, it's
weird
really,
how things turn
it's
out.
really weird because it is a big part of the story as well, isn't it? And it's interesting to see.
It is, yeah.
I say story, there's not a lot of story here, but it's interesting how it develops throughout the film. Anyway, she decides that she tells him she wants him to go to Yale. And we kind of cut away from them then, and we meet our second star, I guess, or stars.
Yeah.
So we meet Ashley and Lisa, who are a couple, and
They are, yeah.
they're having an argument. And basically, they argue a lot during this film, and never really seem to achieve anything from it. You know what I mean?
No, and they argue when their relationship is in a bad place, which is when we first meet them.
Yeah.
And Lisa, who is Alicia Silverstone's character, she says, I'm not happy. We're really struggling here. She says to Ashley, who is Anne Heche, your art's not making any money. But later on in the movie, they also argue when they're happy. Yeah. And their relationship's in a better place.
They're not a good couple.
Clearly, they clash. Yeah. This is what they do.
We cut back to that. We cut back to Veronica's household. I've written down everyone's weird. And this is a really early assumption for me to make, but everybody's weird in this house.
Okay, yeah. That's you're not off base, to be honest.
Early on in this film, you don't really warm to any of the characters, and they've got like a weird, I don't know, there's something weird about them that I didn't like, and I didn't warm to anybody at all.
Well, back with Veronica and her husband now and their teenage son, they're giving him like terrible life advice, aren't they? Like, basically, don't follow your dreams. You need to go and do, was it financing or whatever it is at university, and basically we get informed that the father he's about to seal a big deal which is going to make them a lot of money, but it is basically an arms deal, so this potential war he's going to profit from.
Okay, well, we got cut off from each other there, but we're back now, so
sure.
The wonders of modern technology and socially distanced podcasting has screwed us again. But I think we're back. There was a really weird delay as well. It was annoying. But we're back now, so I think we got to the point where we cut back to Ashley's, and she's in her like studio now, and she's got like an assistant. Is she an assistant? Her name's Sally. Or is she like mentor, protege, something like that? They share this studio space anyway. And there's an art collector there, and he's come to look at some of Ashley's artwork, but he's not impressed.
And he says it's good. Yeah. Like, technically it's good.
Yeah.
But the content is not appropriate to sell this. I couldn't hang this on the wall. It's all sort of dead babies and...
Yeah, she paints really strange collages of dead
nightmare-scapes, really, isn't it, I guess?
He calls it insane. He's like, I can't sell this, it's insane. And then he spots what Sally's just doodling, as she always does. She's just doodling these like blue bunny rabbits. And he spots them and he really, really likes them.
He does,
and it really, really riles Ashley up, and she hates it. Because she's not a nice person, this Ashley.
No.
And she just doesn't like it, and it cuts from there. This film is so choppy. It cuts between the two main characters.
Yeah, but...
constantly.
It did that bother you? Because it didn't bother me.
It bothered me a bit.
It's sort of set in the scene, isn't it?
I struggled with the flow of it. It didn't seem...
bringing these people together, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't seem to flow very well for me. We'll keep going, because we've got no choice. This is the podcast. This is what we do. Got back from there, and Veronica and Stanley, who is her husband, are heading to a party.
Yep.
But he doesn't want her to drink when she gets there.
He doesn't want her to go at all. He seems to have opened up and says, right, you can come, but I don't want you to drink.
Yeah. Yeah. She says to him, are you embarrassed by me? And he's like, yeah, you're really embarrassing. It's like, when you've had a drink, you're really embarrassing. And they have an argument in the street, don't they, before they get to the party? And he basically says, look, just go home. Don't come. I don't want you to come.
It's his business partner's birthday, isn't it, I think?
Yes. And he straight up says to her, I'm not happy in this relationship. Straight. He doesn't even hold back at all, this guy.
So
he's brutal.
They're parallel. The two main characters, their lives are sort of paralleling each other at the minute, because that's what Lisa said to Ashley a couple of scenes ago.
Yeah.
So both their partners have told her to protagonists that they're not happy in the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, they do end up going to this party. They both end up going to this party. When they get there, we realise that Ashley's also there.
Yeah.
Because does Lisa have some sort of catering business?
Yes, seems so.
Yeah, and Ashley's kind of like helping her out serving food and drinks at the party. Veronica is drinking, so she completely ignored that piece of advice from Stanley. And they bump into each other.
Yeah.
And our two characters meet for the first time, and it turns out they used to go to college together.
Yeah, they know each other.
There's some tension there, isn't probably an understatement. They don't seem to like each other.
Sure. And they sort of have it making a bit of small talk, aren't they? And Ashley sort of says, "Oh, that's your husband. I thought he was gay."
Yeah, she's brutal, straight out.
And it clearly is.
He is like, yeah, he clearly is, and he's hugging this guy, and they're very, very close to each other. There's him and his business partner. But Veronica takes huge offence to that. She's not impressed by that at all. And it turns out that when they were in college together, when Veronica found out that Ashley was a lesbian, that's when she stopped hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And they have a bit of a row about it, don't they? And they're both not very nice people, and that's how their lives grew apart when that came out.
Yeah, and they end up really pushing each other's buttons the wrong way, and
trying to rile each other.
And Ashley kind of walks away and goes for a cigarette, doesn't she? In the stairwell.
She does. Yeah. So she goes out for a smoke. Sandra. You would not believe how many times I wrote Sandra in my notes. I just couldn't get it out of my head. She just doesn't come across like a Veronica. She goes to find Stanley, and he's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're drunk. You can tell that you're drunk. I need you to go home. I need you to go home. Get out of here. You're embarrassing." So Veronica does. She's mortally offended by this. She's not happy in the slightest. And she heads out. She goes into the stairwell where she instantly bumps into... Well, she smashes the door into Ashley, doesn't she? Unintentionally. And they have another bit of an argument. And it ends with Veronica punching Ashley in the face. Yeah,
so, I mean, the title of this movie massively undersells what happens.
Massively undersells it. And then we're off to the races. Because these two have a huge fist fight now. It's not a cat fight at all.
It is brutal, and it's wildly over the top. So when they punch each other, the sound that they've decided to use it is like, I don't know, someone's punching through an exploding wall of concrete or something. But it's not a realistic fight.
No,
but it works.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's you can't. There's no other way of describing it. It's like it's a Hollywood fight at the end of the day, but dialed up to 10.
And they both take so much punishment.
Yeah, they take a beating. They're both like smashed up. They're bleeding. Their faces are all swelled up.
Yeah, you think Ashley sort of got the win because she kind of chokes Veronica out.
Yeah,
but it doesn't last very long, and then the fight's back on again.
Yeah, they kind of lie down next to each other for a bit, get their breath, and then they're on again. And Ashley beats the shit out of her. Ashley does come out on top.
She sort of mounts Veronica, and she starts delivering this ground and pound. It is something properly straight out of the octagon.
100%.
I thought she was going to kill her.
Yeah, so did I. Because I was like, where are we going with this?
Your sort of point of view from Veronica, aren't you, looking up at Ashley, who's just pummeling her.
Yeah, there's raining fists on her.
Yeah, and I thought this. I didn't know where this was going. I thought, she's going to kill her. This is now going to be like a thriller that I'm watching.
And it just keeps going. It goes on for ages. You were so wrong. It just keeps going and going and going, and eventually Veronica gets knocked out, and so Ashley just walks away, calmly walks down the stairs.
Yeah.
The victor with the spoils. And Veronica eventually wakes up. She grabs her little vanity mirror out of a bag. Has a quick check of herself, looks at herself in the mirror, is completely freaked out by what she sees, which is like a messed up, bloody, swelled up face. And she takes a tumble down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because of this, because she's like so shocked.
At this time, she is done for.
Yeah, that's the end of the scene. We cut back to the party a little bit. Everybody's singing happy birthday to whatever the guy's name was, Carl, I think.
Yeah.
And that's it from the party. And we cut straight from there to a hospital bed. And Veronica's lying in this hospital bed, all wired up to machines. And the housekeeper that was in the film, I don't think we mentioned the housekeeper.
No.
But they had a housekeeper earlier in the film, and she's there. She's like sitting
at the bedside,
watching over it. And Veronica wakes up.
Yeah, so just before she wakes up, again, on the TV is the same
this
news show.
Yeah.
I had to do a double take here because, again, there's this sort of political commentary going on. And he's saying, the host is saying, we're now 2 years into this new war in the Middle East. And I'm like, 2 years? Have we jumped forward 2 years? And I kind of dismissed it. I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be paying attention. But then I did, because the guy on the TV says, the draft's back.
Yeah.
Are we not talking like a sports draft?
No.
He's like...
They're sending teenagers to war.
Yeah. And he says, and I thought this was one of the best lines in the whole film, again, noting how spot on it is currently. He said that the president's popularity in the south and southwest of the country has never been higher. And then he quips that, well, what do you expect? That's what happens when you force all the blacks and Latinos to leave to go to war. All the hillbillies that are left behind will love you. I was like, whoa. That
very on the nose.
Is on the nose. And
yeah, completely.
There's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
This
film is from an America that didn't know what it had coming to it in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting how accurately they got it.
I was just like, that is like, okay, that would have been like Will Rio, but man, it just really hit home with me, that line did.
Yeah, it really did. But you're right, it turns out Veronica has been in a coma for 2 years. The doctor comes in, he talks to her about it. He tells her basically you've suffered a massive brain injury when you fell down the stairs. They don't appear to know of this fight. But unfortunately, in that time, we've been pulling funds from your savings account. Because she's like, I'm rich. And he's like, you're not rich. You've got no money left. You're pretty much skint. Unfortunately, she also finds out that Stanley is dead.
Yeah, husband's gone.
He's died within the last 2 years. And unfortunately, so is her son.
Yeah.
Because he was drafted to war and was killed in the war. Because they'd reinstated this draft. So the housekeeper's like, oh, you've got no family, no home, and you've got no money. You're completely broke.
And they punctuate this awful news with a bloody great joke. Because the doctor goes... Because obviously Veronica's starting to get really agitated now.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, I'll go and get her a sedative. The housekeeper says, can you get one for me? And he says, I'm going to take one as well. It really made me laugh. I just thought it was played really well.
Yeah.
And all the time I'm watching this going, what's going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Talk about a twist. I did not see this come in.
No.
The time jump.
It's a strange one. And it didn't do any 2 years later or anything.
No.
It told you it in the story, which is what I've been begging films to do for a long time.
How much better was it for it?
So much better. It just works. You tell the story. You don't need those texts coming up on the screen saying 2 years later. I quite enjoyed the joke as well because she turns to the housekeeper and she's like, oh, I can't believe you sat at my bedside for 2 years. And she's like, oh no, I was just passing. I'm a cleaner at the hospital. It's like, I just thought I'd pop in and see if you were all right. Really did.
She was good, actually. The lady who played the housekeeper, I thought she was, for the first half of this movie that she was in, she was good.
Yeah. So we leave Veronica there to wallow in her pity, and we go back to Ashley. And it turns out in the 2 preceding years, Ashley has become quite a popular artist.
She has,
because her paintings have now resonating with the country.
Yeah. Because
of the way that the country's gone over the last 2 years, so they're not as insane anymore.
So there's so
she's got a gallery, hasn't she?
She has, and there's a business suited lady walking around, and she asks Sally, who's still there, the assistant, I would like to buy this one, and Sally says, you can't, that's sold. And this repeats and repeats and repeats, and there's only one painting left that's not sold.
Did you catch what the painting was of?
I did. It was a sperm.
Yep.
That had been decapitated in a guillotine.
Yes, it absolutely was. It was by far the worst painting in there. But this art collector's like, I'll take it. How much is it? She buys it for $5,000.
Yeah, it's not even a proper painting, is it? It's like it's more of a sketch.
Yeah.
Cartoon type thing.
So yeah, Ashley's become quite successful in the preceding 2 years. We then go back to Ashley, and she's still with Lisa, and they've decided they're going to have a baby.
Yeah, but we cut back to them, and Lisa's literally got a turkey baster up Ashley.
Yeah. It was a strange
again,
one.
Made me chuckle. Just wasn't expecting it.
No. I've written here, we cut back to Veronica now, and in my notes I thought, okay, things are starting to look up. Titus Andromedon's just showed up.
My notebook reads, Titus Andromedon is teaching Veronica to walk again.
Titus Andromedon obviously is the character from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Yep. He's amazing. I love him so much. He's actually my profile picture on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
He's brilliant. So it really brought a smile to my face when he turned up. He's not in it long. He's in it a couple of times, but he's not in it for long. But it was a nice little cameo. He basically says to her, look, you need to start walking today because you've got to leave.
Yeah, this is your last day. You've got no money.
This is your last day. You've got no woman. You've got no woman left. You've got no money left, woman. And she's like, well, I've got nowhere to go. I've got no house. I've got no family. I've got no money.
He also tells her that her husband didn't just die, but he committed suicide.
Yeah. So she gets on the telephone and we meet this... turns out she's got a crazy aunt.
Yeah, she's like a tree hugger, isn't she?
If you can hear any background noise from Nick's end, it's his wife's fault.
I can't hear it because of my headphones. This is the thing. I can't hear it very well.
That's really funny that I'm like 2 miles away and I can hear it, but you can't.
Yeah. I'm aware, but anyway. I can't hear any detail or anything. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, God. I miss having you in this room, Nick. Yeah, it's so much easier.
I know.
Fuck lockdown. Bring it back. We meet a crazy woman and she's talking to a tree. And it turns out she's Veronica's aunt. Yeah. She's Veronica's only surviving relative.
But because she's out hugging trees, she doesn't hear the phone ring. So that is not an option. Veronica's not going there.
No. So we kind of leave Veronica there again, don't we? We pretty much know that that's where she's going to end up, but we don't know that for sure yet. Ashley and Sally are in their gallery boxing up all the art.
This scene genuinely made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's really horrible. So the art collector from earlier, the male art collector from earlier is there. Basically, Ashley loses her shit because Sally's putting blue labels on the boxes to send them out.
Yeah.
And Ashley doesn't use blue in her art, so why the fuck would she want blue labels on her boxes?
Oh, she absolutely tears the strip off her, and it's horrible.
Uncomfortable.
It's to be fair, it's really good acting from Anne Heche.
Yeah, it is, to be fair.
And I felt the atmosphere in the room. It
made you just want to punch her.
Oh, she's a horrid character.
A horrible piece of work. And she's going on about these blue labels for fucking ages and literally shouting in Sally's face. And all the while she's doing it, she's standing in front of a painting which is predominantly blue.
Yeah, I was glad you spotted that because I noted that as well.
So she's a proper hypocrite as well.
It was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was a nice touch. But so I think that's just to make you... They're intentionally trying to make you not like these characters.
Sure.
That's an intentional choice that the filmmakers made.
Yeah.
I don't know if it works, but it's definitely what he was going for.
Well, I think they want you, clearly they want you to consider as you're watching this, do these people deserve what happens to them throughout the film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It really is. Veronica has been offered a couch at Donna's house. Donna's the housekeeper.
Yeah.
And Donna has managed to salvage a little box of Veronica's stuff. So she's collected some things from before the house. I guess the house was repossessed or whatever. I don't know. But she's kept some of the stuff. But Veronica doesn't want to open it. She's like, I'm not ready. I don't want to know what's in there.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, I guess. So she just goes to sleep on the couch. But before she does, she thinks that her son was drafted into the war.
Yes.
But Donna informs her that he wasn't. He volunteered.
Yeah, he was a year too young. He volunteered at 16 rather than getting called up at 17, 18. Yeah. And then from there, there's a lot of quick cuts where we get a bit of, I guess again, it's character building information. So we find out that the turkey basting was successful.
Yep, Ashley's pregnant.
And Veronica starts a job working with Donna as like their chambermaids, aren't they, at a hotel?
Yeah. One thing I did want to bring up was the scene where they find out that Ashley's pregnant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's a female doctor that gives them the news. And they kiss in front of this doctor for fucking ages. And it was really uncomfortable. It was like, well, stop now. And you could tell the doctor was getting like it as well. And it was like, it again just made you really dislike these people.
Yeah.
And if that's what they're going for, then he's done a really good job of it because I fucking hated all of them. Yeah, and like you said, Veronica starts working with Donna. She's like a housemaid. Is it at the hospital or is it a hotel or something? It was a hotel, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think they took another job. So.
Yeah. Ashley has another shout at Sally, and we get a bit of a montage between the two of them.
So Ashley's starting to have a bit of an artist block, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go into a big sort of working montage of them both doing
Veronica doing a cleaning and Ashley doing a painting.
Respective jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a really weird scene just after as we come out of the montage of a man offers Veronica $100 if he can sit and watch her work.
Yeah.
He's like a creepy weirdo.
Weird hotel guest, rich hotel guest. Must happen all the time. Oh,
it does. I used to work in a hotel. I can assure you it does. We get a bit of a news report again to say that this week 600 troops have been killed.
Yeah.
You're talking bad times. Veronica says that she doesn't really respect the war, I guess. She doesn't believe in the war. She doesn't agree with it. And Donna shoots her down. She's like, by saying that sort of thing, you disrespect your son.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa. Hit her right in the feels there. While she's cleaning, though, Veronica finds a magazine in her guest's bedroom. And guess who's on the cover of the magazine? Who's on the cover of the magazine, Nick?
It's Ashley.
Yes. So she finds out that Ashley's become quite successful at this point, and she does not take it well.
It's not clear, is it, if Veronica has not remembered how she's ended up where she is.
No.
And by seeing the picture of Ashley on the magazine cover, that's kind of triggered her memory.
That's how I took it.
Or if she's always known. Yeah, it's not really made clear, but I think that's where I'm going with it as well.
Yeah, I think that's how I took it.
Kicked her brain back into gear.
Yeah. Cut from there to Lisa and Ashley having a baby shower.
Now this was an awkward scene, and Alicia Silverstone was really good in it.
She was really good, Nick. She's been quite the only really nice character at this point, up until this point.
Yeah.
I've written here, turns out she's a twat too.
Yeah.
She's fucking horrible to everybody. She's they keep giving her gifts and she keeps bashing them down for giving her these gifts.
Yeah, so one's for having, the plastics are in it, one's for being made in China. And again, she's got a line which is something like, I know our country's not exactly the best morally, but the Chinese.
Yeah. She probably goes for it. And it's like,
China.
She doesn't like Wi-Fi, and
it's really on the nose of what's been happening the last, in recent memory over there.
She's basically horrible to all of her friends.
Yeah. Makes one of them she makes cry, doesn't she?
Yeah. Cut back to I've written Sandra again. Cut back to Veronica, and she gets caught by the man who owns the magazine. She gets caught stealing it, I guess.
Yeah.
They have a big row in the corridor, and she eventually calls him a dick. Which he was being, but she shouldn't have stolen his magazine. But when she gets home that night, Donna's son showed up. So she's got a son who has also been at war, but he's okay. He's come home for a bit of leave, and you can tell that he instantly takes a dislike to Veronica.
Yeah,
he's not a fan. He even says to her, "How long are you staying for?"
Yeah.
Lisa and Ashley go back. They're having another argument. Because everybody just argues and hates each other in this film.
So they're arguing about the colour red. So all Ashley does is argue about colours. Because she likes the colour. And in their apartment, and Lisa doesn't. She says it reminds her of blood and murder.
Yeah, she wanted to paint the baby's bedroom walls red. And Lisa was not.
What we haven't mentioned is the character of Lisa is carrying around this fake baby and has been for the last few scenes. And this argument literally ends in a tug of war with this doll. Lisa is as cuckoo as everyone else in this movie.
We get cut there to Veronica's now left Donna's house, presumably because the son didn't like her very much, and she checks into a motel.
Yeah,
she's quite rude.
Yeah, she's awful.
She's quite rude to the desk clerk in the hotel, and it ends with her saying, "What, are you deaf?" And he's like, "Yeah." He is deaf. She hadn't realised.
We're in Curb Your Enthusiasm territory, but without the subtlety. At this point, aren't we? I think. Yeah,
it's just brutal. It's brutal all the way through. Every line hits hard to somebody. It's not a nice film. There's nothing nice about it.
But this is funny because the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm deaf in one ear." Would you like to know what else is wrong with me? I've got eczema. I've got ringworm. I've got ringworm.
So he's a bit of a dick as well because he's just making her feel worse.
I've got ringworm on my scrotum.
Yeah, he does say that.
I know he's like, look, here's your room key. Just try and be a nicer person.
Piss off. Yeah. So she goes back to her room and she has a bit of a contemplation of her life. and she decides that she's going to open the box that Donna gave her earlier.
Yeah.
And there's a video camera in there. And it turns out her son was leaving her video messages.
Yes.
And the very first one that she watches, he basically is explaining that he's been accepted into art school. But he knew that wouldn't be what she wanted, and he wanted to do right by her because she was in this coma. So he's enlisted instead into the army. So it turns out it's her fault.
Yeah, basically.
He's dead. So she has a bit of a cry. While this is going on, Ashley's having a gallery opening for her art gallery.
Yeah, so she's unleashing her latest collection of work, I guess.
Yeah, but Lisa's not showed up because of this earlier argument and the tug of war over the fake baby.
Yeah.
Lisa's not turned up, so Ashley's trying to track her down. She has a bit of a panic attack, freak out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because she can just hear the word shit being chanted over and over again in her head.
Yeah. Like, she feels like she's going to get found out, I guess.
Yeah.
For being it's that artist's insecurity, isn't it?
Yeah. But the art collector comes and meets her, and he's like, everything in this room is brilliant. It's radiant. It's great. You're the best. He's basically blowing smoke up her ass.
Yeah, he's like, it's grim work for grim times, I think is what he says. And he says something like, well done for you for capitalising on it, which she obviously gets offended at. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because of the world. This is what my work was like before.
I've always done it like this. And he points her towards a picture that she's done recently of 3 faces, female faces. Yeah. 2 of them are smashed up and bruised and battered. And he's like, can you explain this one to me? And we get a bit of a twist now because the camera spins around and it turns out Veronica's there.
Yeah, and the painting is basically of Veronica, isn't it? So it's she's getting more beaten up through the fight, I thought.
Yeah. That's how I understood it. And it turns out she's there. She's drinking, which we know is never a good sign. And she spots this picture and she hugely takes exception to the fact that Ashley's making money off of her likeness.
Yeah.
And her everything that's gone wrong in her life is Ashley's now making money off, and it's all her fault in the first place. And she starts having flashbacks to the fight. I've written it. Then the Alton Towers music starts playing.
It does, yeah.
I mean, anything to our American listeners. It is a famous song. I don't know what it's called. I couldn't tell you what it's called, but it always plays when you're going into Alton Towers. And she starts knocking all the pictures off the wall. Veronica has a bit of a freak out moment, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And Ashley, she can hear this commotion, so she goes running over and she pins Veronica up against the wall and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
And punches her in the face. And then for the second time in this film, we have
Veronica kind of legs it then, doesn't she, with the painting?
Yeah. Well, they have a bit of a fight in the start, in the gallery.
Yeah.
And then Veronica legs it with the painting. And Ashley follows. All the art people in the gallery, incidentally, which I thought was quite funny, start clapping.
Yeah.
Because they think it's like an art installation.
It reminded me of that episode in Spaced where Brian accidentally knocks himself out and they all think, oh, this is amazing art.
I'd forgotten about that. That's brilliant. That's exactly what it was like. And they end up in like a tyre yard because they chase each other. And they have another fight.
Now, if the first one was brutal, this is fucking next level stuff.
This one goes on for flipping ages as well.
It really does. And they end up not just having a fist fight because, well, that's how it starts. Yeah. But a couple of minutes in, Veronica ends up armed with a hammer, and
no, Ashley's got the hammer.
Or is it Ashley's got a hammer and Veronica's got a wrench, and they are
wailing on each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not holding anything back. You can hear crunching bones and everything.
To the face. Remember, Ashley is still pregnant.
Yeah. You cannot put over how brutal these fights are. We're not doing them any justice. They're not fun to watch. They're uncomfortable fights.
Because they just go on and on. They both take so much punishment.
It's not like comedy fighting. It's brutal.
It's not.
It's two women trying to kill each other.
But it is played a bit tongue in cheek and knowing, because you don't put 2 fights on of this length and go for realism.
No, of course not. There's nothing realistic about them. They're
especially
movie
when
fights.
They're smashing each other with weapons.
Yeah,
and they just keep going. It is almost that sort of Tom and Jerry type violence, isn't it? By the end of this fight,
but brutal.
Yeah.
Eventually, it ends up with Ashley going down. She goes down this time, but she gets back up again and she goes for some more. But Veronica beats the crap out of her and she goes down. And Veronica walks away. Veronica's won the fight. Yeah. And as she walks away, Ashley's like leaning up against some racking where all these tyres are on.
Yeah.
And a breeze block falls off the top, like fucking Home Alone. And just lands on her head.
Yeah.
And knocks her completely out.
Man, this is crazy stuff.
It is crazy stuff because pretty much now this film starts again. Ashley wakes up in a hospital bed. It's the same hospital bed that we met earlier. Met? Did you meet a hospital bed? It's the same room, and this time Sally's there with her because it's basically exactly mirroring what happens earlier on.
The TV show's back on the TV above the bed, and it's the same program. Of course, it is. This time, the host is saying the war on terror is over.
Yeah,
we won. Everyone in the Middle East is now watching Netflix, which again made me chuckle. We're now getting quite meta.
Yeah, very much so. Sally goes and gets a doctor. It's the same doctor who reads the exact same script.
Yeah.
Basically, she's been in a coma for 2 years. They were just about to remove her breathing tube because she's run out of money.
Yeah.
Her baby's dead that she was carrying.
Gone?
Well, she says gone, but I think it's dead.
Oh, okay. I presumed. Oh, okay. Right, we'll get into that in a minute.
Also, Lisa's left her. Sally announces that to her. And Ashley says the same thing to Sally. Oh, I can't believe you've stood by my bedside for 2 years. And she's like, no, I just happened to be passing.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same script.
She says, I was just dropping off a load of comics to the children's ward.
To the children's,
because by the way, I'm a really successful comic book writer now.
Yeah, and it's called Blue Bunnies.
And she says, I've just sold the movie rights.
Yeah.
And then this really made me laugh as well, because she said, it's either going to be directed by Ron Howard or David Lynch. And I thought that's brilliant because obviously they are so opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, they're the one end to the scale to the other.
I thought it was a great line.
I'd love to watch a comic book movie about blue rabbits directed by David Lynch. I'm up for that.
Yeah.
So, again, cut again. Titus Andromedon turns back up again. He's reading again from the same script. Basically, you've got to walk, you've got to leave. You can't live here anymore, you've got no money left. In the meantime, we find out that Veronica's now living with her crazy auntie up in the forest somewhere.
Yep.
And she's still watching the videos of her son. She's still got these videos.
Yeah.
And she's still watching them.
But relatively, she seems to be
She seems to have got a life, her life's together. She's not where she wanted to be at this point in her life, but she's surviving. She's living a very nice life in the forest. Ashley moves in with Sally because, again, this film's mirroring itself now. Sally says that you'll have to come and do some art with me in my studio.
Yeah.
And it turns out that was Ashley's studio and Sally now owns it or runs it.
Yeah.
Cut back to Veronica. She's with her aunt and her aunt's introducing her to all her friends who are trees. She's like,
she was good as well.
She was good, to be fair.
She wasn't in for very long, but she was a good. It was a good performance. She was funny.
She introduced her to all these trees and all their good qualities, and then as they're walking back, she's like, "Oh, and that one over there is a right dick." It made me laugh. So Ashley and Sally are now in their studio, but their roles have changed. So they're sitting on the opposite sides of the desks.
Yeah.
And the lunch turns up, and there's no mustard on Sally's sandwich. So she asks Ashley if she'll go out and get some mustard. So their roles have completely reversed. Cut back again. This from now on, honestly, it does flick all over the place. We go back from there to Veronica. She thinks that her aunt's dead now. She's asleep and she walks in. But she's not dead. She's just asleep. And they have a bit of a row about, why would you wake me up if you thought I was dead? Veronica says it would have been Kip's birthday. Kip is her son. It would have been his birthday today.
Yes.
So she's feeling a bit down and depressed. Back to the studio. Ashley's figured out now that she can't draw anymore. She's got no muse.
Yeah, her hands are unsteady. Her palms are sweaty. No, that's Eminem.
Knees weak and arms are heavy. Yeah. So she goes outside for a fag and she bumps into Lisa, who just happened to be passing, I think. I'm not sure.
No, because she gives her a box. So she says,
she does. Yeah, she was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. Lisa has a baby.
I presume that was their baby. Was it not then?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because she says that she's met this guy. She's not a lesbian anymore.
Yeah.
And she's been with him for a couple of years. But that baby wasn't 2 years old.
Okay. Fine.
It didn't look.
No, you're probably right.
But like you said, she's got a box, and it's a much smaller box than Veronica.
Yeah, she's like, here's the stuff you've got left. See you never.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Thanks for. I'm glad you woke up, but I don't want to ever see you again. Is basically what she says. Cut back to Veronica and her aunt. They're looking at pictures of the family of Kip around the fire, talking about his birthday. Back to the studio. I tell you, it cuts so much. Cut back to Ashley and Sally, and Ashley apologises to Sally. Thank you for looking after me. I know I'm a bit of a burden, and Sally's like, I'm enjoying every minute of this.
Oh my word! What a put down. She says, yeah, I'm getting great pleasure from seeing you like this because you're a horrible person.
That's exactly what she says.
And you deserve it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
This is hard.
I've written on my notes, even Sally's a dick. Sally leaves at that point and Ashley rips up one of her comics. She kind of freaks out about it. Should we mention Sally's voice? I'm not sure if that's a real voice.
I don't know. I hadn't really given it a thought, to be honest.
I kind of hope it isn't.
It's very high-pitched. I do not know.
Very high pitched. She's like a female Joe Pasquale.
You're going with all the niche references today.
Ashley opens up her box at this point and she finds something that gives her a look of realization. And I didn't pick up what it was at the start, but it looked like a ticket of some sort.
It's got Veronica's name on it, hasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how this has happened, but in the next scene, she turns up at Veronica's house in the woods.
I missed how that she came into possession of this bus ticket. Yeah.
She said, because Veronica says to her, "How did you find me?" And she says, "I found a 2-year-old bus ticket."
So I think I'm just putting it together now. When they were fighting in the art studio 2 years previously, it must have dropped out of Veronica's bag or coat.
Right. It seemed a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. But that must be it, though.
Why Lisa's treasured it for the last 2 years in this box, who knows? Veronica, they're like standing outside the front of the house, and you can tell that something's going to happen. Veronica's like, "I don't want to do this. I'm getting on with my life. It's fine." And Ashley turns to her and says, "I've got nothing left to do in my life but destroy you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to kick off again.
Well, and she says, "You've taken everything from me." I felt you did the same to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like they're so self-obsessed, they're both only just realising what the impact of their actions had on the other person.
Yeah. So Veronica says to her, "Look, before we do this, we're obviously going to do this. Let's have breakfast first." So they go in and have breakfast together.
Yeah.
So Veronica tells her about Kip and about Stanley.
Yeah, they both talk about losing their kids.
Yeah, Ashley talks about the baby. And then there's quite a nice line where I can't remember which one of it says, but one of them says, "The war gave us everything and then took everything away."
Yeah.
Because obviously Veronica's husband worked for the military and that's how he made his money. That's how she was rich. And Ashley made money off the fact that the war was happening and her art was selling. So the war gave them everything, but then also took everything away. And it was a nice juxtaposition between the war and the war between the two of them.
Yeah, it was.
It was a really nice line, I thought. Veronica shows her the video of her son. She's like, look at this video that Kip left me. And Ashley, intentionally or not intentionally, what's your thoughts? She spills a drink on the video camera.
I'm going not, but maybe I don't
too
know.
Nice. You're too nice.
Maybe.
She was looking at it for a long time before she accidentally spilled that drink on her.
Okay.
She breaks the video camera.
She thinks she was looking for the excuse to start a fight.
It looks like at that point that the fight wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
They looked like they were going to just like make friends. But this causes Veronica to go batshit crazy. They start arguing again. And I've written, "And we're off again." And they have this huge fight out into the woods now. They fight off out of the house, off the deck.
Yeah. Roll down the hill into the woods. One's got a branch. They start smashing each other with branches. I've just put the sound effects.
The sound effects were insane. It was like the punch sound effect was a bit annoying because it was exactly the same one every time.
Yeah, bone crunching sounds.
Yeah, it was a bit silly. Ashley starts throwing rocks at Veronica. I keep going to say Sandra still. Starting to throw rocks at Veronica.
So, did you notice what piece of music started for this fight?
No, what was it?
It was all three. I should have really noted what the first two were, but I haven't done my my admin. I apologise. So all three fights peppered, soundtracked by classical music. So presumably, pretty convenient. They're all out of copyright and stuff. But this third one, the final fight, is soundtracked to the funeral march.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, they end up. This fight goes on for longer than the first two. much longer. It felt like it was
as long as the second one.
Do you not think this felt like it went on for a long time? This one,
yeah.
Again,
they're all long.
Well, yeah, they are all long. It's the backbone of this film. Those 3 fights are a good long time in this film. This one ends up with, and again, this one's as brutal as the others. The rocks that are being thrown are not small, and they are braining each other with them.
Yeah.
The branches are huge, and they end up both down by a lake. And Ashley starts screaming, and the screams of Ashley wake up Veronica's aunt.
Yes.
And they're still fighting. They're basically now on their knees, looking at each other, just hitting each other. They've got no energy left in them.
They're just going to keep going until one of them's dead, or they're both dead.
Yeah, and the aunt just stands in the window and watches.
Yeah,
she doesn't do anything about it. And again, it just keeps going and going, and they're just punching and punching and punching, and the camera kind of pulls away from them, and you can hear in the background the video camera turning itself back on.
Yeah,
and it comes up on the screen that it's restored itself. All files restored. It says the final video plays, and all it says was "I love you, Mum." With Kip, and
it's as he says "I love you, Mum," just as his barracks wherever he is are rocked by explosions.
Things start exploding around him, and then the film ends.
I mean, wow. This I do not think we have ever watched a film that is so shocked. My expectations have been so out of whack with what it actually is.
I couldn't agree more. Even Animal World, which is probably the one before that, this film is not what you think it is in the slightest. I thought this was going to be a comedy about 2 women who didn't like each other, and it isn't. It's a brutal martial arts film about 2 women who don't like each other.
Well, it's not like there's no finesse, is it?
No, you know what I mean though. It's Korean violence.
It's a political commentary.
Yeah,
buried within this personal grudge match. All these horrible people who, whether they deserve what happened to them or not, are just too stubborn to give in, and they are just going to die together, punching each other.
There was never a reason for them to start fighting. Other than the fact that Veronica stopped talking to Ashley when she was a lesbian.
Yeah.
But the fact that they just kept fighting, and they lost sight of why they were fighting in the first place. So they were just both consumed by their hatred so much.
Well, they're just, it's like I say, it's a political allegory, isn't it, for political parties, and they can't remember why they're fighting.
Yeah, there wasn't even any reason for them to fight in the first place. Yeah. They're just fighting, and for the whole film it's just a fight with cutscenes in the middle of it. Do you know what it reminded me of?
What?
You know that episode of Family Guy with Peter Griffin and the chicken? It's just that.
I mean, there is some of that to it, yeah. But it knows that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's 100% what it was going for. It knows exactly what it is.
The cartoonishness.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It knows exactly what it is. Did you enjoy this film?
Yeah, I did. I really did. Once I got over the shock of, whilst I was watching it, coming to terms with that it was so different from what I expected. I was gobsmacked by it.
I've been really torn by it. It's been a few days now since I watched it because we were a bit late recording this week. And every day I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed that. And then the next day I'll be like, no, I fucking hated that. And I literally still to this minute have no idea if I liked it or not.
It's
but
not
I've really enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah, me too. I knew I would because it's got so much going on in it.
Yeah, it's non-stop. There's always something going on. And those fights, I cannot put over to you how brutal they are.
And I think everyone's in it's really good. You know, they play it just right.
You absolutely hate every one of them. There is not a nice character in this film, even to the point where you think some of them are going to be.
But that's a compliment because that's exactly.
Yeah, it is 100%.
That is exactly what they're going for, and they nail it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody in it is so good to getting you to hate them, even down to people like Donna, who are just bit part characters, and Sally, and they're just. It's brutal, and it's not only the fighting that's brutal; it's the fact that the way they talk to each other. And the way they interact with each other, it's uncomfortable to watch from the start to the end. And sometimes you need that from a film.
100%.
They achieved exactly what it was going for, and it even caused an argument in our Discord this week. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to comment before we recorded.
No, I didn't. They were arguing. They'd both seen it. Sam did not like it. Ross enjoyed the hell out of it. And they argued Me and you both stood back because it was before we'd both seen the film. I think it's a bit of a Marmite film, this one. I think you're either going to love it or you hate it. So it'd be interesting to see if anybody else checks it out and sees what they think.
I'd love to, gather a few views on this. So if anyone has seen it or is going to watch it in the coming days, then do let us know.
Let us know. Get us on Twitter or come into the Discord. The link for the Discord will be in the bottom. And you can take sides with Sam and Ross in their ongoing argument between each other. Yeah,
come and join us. We've had a few new people pop in this week, so
it's good fun in there. I'm enjoying it.
Trying to grow that a bit. So do come along.
Come and join the community. We're both active in there as well, so you can come and chat with us in there. You'll find the link in the should be the very last line of the episode description. Do you want to do the stream table?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to run through what we've got?
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
Okay, so currently at the bottom of the stream is Malevolent. 6 is last week's film Life Force. 5 is iBoy. 4 is Results. 3 currently is Hungerford. 2 is The Discovery. And 1 is Caliber. What are you saying, Nick?
For me, it is a simple question of whether this is first or second.
Interesting. I think you're right. I think it's a better film than The Discovery. But I'm not sure about Caliber. If we put it above Caliber, I think we'll lose Sam. Caliber was Sam's wild.
That's pretty much where I am as well. As a whole, Caliber wasn't without its faults, but...
No, not at all. And nor is this. Let's be honest. Like I said to you earlier, there's been the last few days where I've hated this film and the last few days where I've loved it.
I really enjoyed this film.
Part of me
what this has got going for it is that it's the element of surprise.
Yeah, completely. But then Caliber had that as well.
Yeah, for that moment it did. I mean, this is just wildly... this is one of the most memorable films we've seen, regardless of whether it ends up at where we put it now. I've been...
You're not forgetting about this film.
Yeah, this has been in my mind since we watched it, without a doubt. I can go first or second. I'm not that welded to it to go above Caliber. I think they're pretty close.
I think it has to go second. I think Caliber's just a really good film, and it's definitely better than Discovery. But I think Caliber pips it.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Second in the stream table. Sorry, Sam.
It's a hard recommendation for me, though. I've got to say.
Yeah, I think you've got to watch it. I don't know if everybody will enjoy it. I'm positive not everybody will enjoy it, but I think it's one of those films that should be watched.
Yeah.
Just because it's completely different to anything else you'll have ever seen.
Yeah.
There's nothing else out there like it, apart from that episode of Family Guy. How do you want to try and turn the tide on it?
This one's on you because I don't think I do. I don't. I did last week's. I don't want to. I don't think I want to change it.
You don't want to change it at all?
I don't think
you can. Like I said, it's so unique that if anything you do to change it is going to take that away from it. And
I don't even want to.
I
don't even want to recast it.
No, I don't know. I think you're right. I think that all three of them play it so well. Can we have a bit more Titus Andromedon?
Yeah, that's a fair comment.
Let's have a bit more of him because he wasn't in it. I don't know his real name. He will always be that to me.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's so unique that there's anything you do to change it takes that away from it, and you don't want to do that because then it just becomes another film in a pile of films.
This is one of the most surprising things we've ever seen in the, so I wouldn't want to change that. Okay,
fair enough. We'll skip it this week then.
Yeah,
more Titus Andromedon. That's the change we're making. Shall we talk about next week's film?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want me to hit the randomizer?
I do not.
What?
I'm going to play my wild card.
Wild card. Amazing. Awesome. I love a wild card episode. What are we going for, Nick? Give me some news.
So,
I'll put my phone back down now.
Because you loved last year our French cop film.
Bon Cop, Bad Cop?
Yeah. We are going to watch, and I've wanted an action film for a few weeks.
You have, that's true.
We're going to watch an action film.
Okay.
We're going to watch a French action film.
Okay, interesting.
So I would like.
It's not Bon Cop, Bad Cop 2, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Good.
Which is technically that's Canadian, but
okay, fair enough.
I would like you to open up your Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And I would like you to read the synopsis out.
Interesting.
For a movie called Lost Bullet.
Lost Bullet. I found it. It's a new film. It's from 2020.
Oh, cool. I didn't realise that.
Lost Bullet says, facing a murder charge, a genius mechanic with a criminal past must track down a missing car containing the proof of his innocence, a single bullet.
Hello.
That sounds fun. The poster's quite good. It's just a right way up car and an upside down car.
God, let's do that then. Let's do some action. We haven't had many car chases on this show, so
that's true.
Bit of a change of pace.
Am I going to have to watch it with subtitles on, or is it? Oh no, it's French original. I'll watch the dub. You watch the subtitles, and we'll see again. Because that was fun last time when we had all sorts of weird things that were different about the script.
Deal.
So yeah, go out and check out that. And in the meantime, check us out on Facebook. I'll do that one first this week. Facebook.com/bottomofthestream. You can get us on Twitter and Instagram at BOTS_podcast. Discord, I've already mentioned the link for that will be at the bottom of the screen, bottom of the show description. Check us out on our new website, www.bottomofthestream.com, where you'll find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables that we've ever done, and loads more good stuff on there as well, including Bottom of the Stream merchandise. It's coming up towards Christmas, so about time people got buying some of that shit, I think. Patreon. Check us out on Patreon. It's patreon.com/bottomofthestream. A couple of quid every month. You'll get some extra bonus episodes. You'll get early access to episodes most weeks. Probably not this week. A wild card if you come in at a certain level. Nick writes a newsletter every month. There's all sorts of good shit going on in there. And come and check us out.
Yeah, if you can't do any of that, then please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, on Podbean, on Podchaser, anywhere you can leave podcast reviews. Literally anywhere. It really helps the algorithms and put our little thumbnail in front of people's eyeballs, and that means they will put us in their ear holes, which is what we want.
We need to be in more people's ear holes. Recommend us to everybody you know. Let's get more people on this boat. And yeah, while you're doing that, check out a film called The Lost Bullet. It's a French action film, and we'll come back next week to talk about it.
Cheers.
Bye.